Well, I mean, I actually met James a long time ago when I was in my early 20s, I think. And I've always been a huge admirer of his work and his film, and him as a person. I love having conversations with him and just the way he thinks and sees things. He's very interesting to speak to. And they contacted me. They were making the film, and he sort of explained to me that they were looking for this presence of this woman and this relationship, and it wasn't sort of clearly defined at the time exactly what it was going to be. It was sort of like, will you come and work with us, and we're going to create this thing together. So it was a little bit of an evolution, which I was very, very excited about, obviously, to get to work with him. I just felt very safe and good hands and very grateful to be asked to do that, and quite surprised because it sort of came out of nowhere. And then I just got to see the film for the first time, which was amazing. And the detail and the artistry is just, it's really blown me away. I think it's one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen in that way. I mean, I think in those moments, I was actually really obsessing about the photography. I was really blown away by the visuals of the sort of little paintings of that sort of each shot really counted. And I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm quite fascinated with space in general and interested in, I don't really think we are alone, but there wasn't that idea that we are, which is very sad and very painful, but which motivates him to come home and to not allow himself to be alone, to create connection and reconnect, how important that is. Well, I think once he closes the door and the whole thing happens with the father, there's a moment where he seems like a little boy. He seems so overwhelmed and lost, and then he just gets this little look in his eye, and it's such a beautiful moment as performance-wise, and you kind of go, oh, right, I think he's thinking of home and her maybe, and you see the hope restored in his eyes in a way. But yeah, I always thought she's almost like a dream. So when I think about the character, there's a lot of holes I have in who she is actually as a person. I've always been trying to talk about it with James and define it, but then I kind of like the idea that it's quite abstract, because the way you see her in his mind, it's through him, through his memory and through his heart and his feelings, and so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Sometimes you just hear her voice. The way that he worked everything in is so interesting. And it was really funny because even up until, I think, 3 weeks ago, he would email me and say, can you say this line, or can you try this? And I would send him things just over my phone. And we just did some ADR again, where I was actually at home in Maine, where I grew up. And I went into an ADR studio, which was so funny because I never thought I'd be in my hometown in Maine doing that. But even then, we were sort of playing and adding in some layers and improvising and creating. She's a feeling, right? Yeah, it's a feeling.